Hello, everyone. Today I am interviewing Tate and I'm going to ask her about some consumer questions on dining out and some questions about Italian food. So we'll hop right in. My first question is, how often do you dine out?
Typically, I think I dine out at least once or twice a week, whether it's at a restaurant or fast food.
Okay. And then why do you choose to dine out that often?
I typically dine out in more of a social setting, whether it's with friends, or if I don't want to cook at home.
Okay. And then how often would you say you currently are experiencing Italian cuisine in these once to twice a week?
I think I've been lacking on Italian cuisine. I typically go for easier restaurants such as Chipotle, who are faster in the dining experience, but for Italian food, I would say it's more of a special occasion.
Okay, good to know. And then if you could pick, if you have one, do you have a favorite Italian restaurant?
I do. It's at Rubiano's Italian restaurant.
Okay. And what city is that located in?
In Brentwood,
Okay.
California.
And then what would you say draws you to? Okay. And then my next question is, what draws you to choose that specific dining experience at Rubiano's?
I think I gravitate towards that one because I used to work there and I still preferred the food, but I would also get it for free or discounted most of the time.
Okay. Discounted. And then what have you explored any other dining experiences like that? Like the way it was set up? And did they compare to Rubiano's?
I tend to prefer other establishments because of generally the vibe they bring for Italian because it's more of a darker theme. And I think it's more of the experience rather than the food most of the time.
Would you say you prefer like a dim lighting, quiet restaurant versus, okay,
Yes.
I'm hearing this a lot. Maybe a restaurant without children. Okay. And then my next question is, what would you say is the largest con for you for dining out at a restaurant?
I do think noise is a big factor. If it's either too echoey or too loud, or if it's a really loud environment, I tend to be overstimulated and can't really enjoy the experience.
Okay. And then how much would you say you typically spend on dining at once? Like just like your certain meal, let's say not like a fast food restaurant, like a sit down restaurant. How much would you say you prefer to spend, like ballpark?
Typically at a nicer establishment, I can expect to spend typically for two people around $100, but for places like Rubiano's, it's typically around 50 to 60 for an experience.
So like 25 per person, 25 to 30 per person.
Yeah.
Okay. And then are there like well, I guess your factors would be if it was a nicer restaurant, you would spend more. Okay. So let's say you just spent the 25, $30. How do you normally feel after spending that amount just on a single visit?
Typically I feel relatively okay because I know that the food is good, especially for the dining experience. It's more of a local hometown experience. But it's definitely more of a once in a while occasion for one of those nicer restaurants.
Okay. And then would you say you typically dine out alone or with people?
I typically dine with others.
Dine with others. Okay.
Did anybody answer alone?
Nobody has said that they've dined out alone, but I have hit them with the follow-up question, which I can also ask you is, are there times when you dine out alone and do you feel fine dining out alone?
I haven't explored dining alone, but I would definitely be interested to see what that experience is like, especially in a dim lit and more not intimate experience, but quiet experience.
Secluded, possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. We could set up a part in the restaurant for people alone.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my last question is, let's say your favorite restaurant or wherever your dining experience may be is no longer available. What would be your next step? Let's say your favorite restaurant's gone.
Well, typically I would go to Rubiano's because it's cheaper, but I would probably just go to the more expensive restaurant that I would prefer, and only dine out on very rare occasions.
You wouldn't put any research into going to another place, just go with what you know.
Yep.
Okay. That was all my questions. Thank you for sharing.
Well,
I appreciate this will help me navigate more into my business in the future.
mhm.
Thank you.